Okay, so just segue off from the last video, I made a mistake with the CCleaner. So you don't have to really clean the cache anymore. You just have to install the new version of pip, which is done by just doing the following. Let me just go up here. I was testing some things. So you write in your pip exe install 2- upgrade pip, and it should install the new version. And then once you do that, it'll finally install the wheel file. Now in the new version of pip, when you install matplotlib, it'll do everything for you. So this was in the older version of pip. Which version was it to be exact? I can't remember. Hold on, let me just go back. It was version 7.12.1.2, and now it's version 8.1.2. So now in this version, it'll automatically do everything for you, as you can see here. So you can kind of just disregard the steps from before. So anyway, so now that we have everything installed, we can close everything up. Close all these tabs. I also use Stack Overflow, guilty as charged, but let's just get on with the programming. So program here. All right, so let's delete this. So we're gonna just restart Sublime Text just in case. So open Sublime Text again. All right, so here we go. So first off, we're gonna begin by creating a histogram as our first example. A histogram, in case you don't know, is a graphical representation of numerical data distribution. And we'll create a histogram using the matplotlib library as follows. So let's import matplotlib.pyplot, and we're going to use the alias as plt. Importing this library and giving it an alias is basically this, for the purposes basically for easier usage. And the pyplot module is a set of functions used for plotting. So in PLT, what we're going to do right now is create a new figure object now to start off. So we're going to say fig equals plt dot pyplot as, wait, no, whoops, I'm reading wrong, hold on, as figure ply or ply, oops, why did I write this? So we're going to do, it's supposed to be plt, my bad. So plt dot figure, and it's going to be in quotes histogram. Alright, and now it's necessary to create one or more subplots by calling the add subplot method. So we're going to do ax fig dot add subplot, and then we're going to have our arguments 1 1 and 3 1 1 1 1. And now we're going to create the actual histogram. So a.x.hist in quotes. So when creating a histogram, the first parameter is a list of numbers that are within a certain range. And the second parameter is the number of bins to be created. So 20, we're going to have 21, 12, 23, let's see what else, 23, 35, 45, 60, 33, 22, 56, 34, 28, 40, and 41. And then after this series, we're going to have bins, this argument bins equals 7. Oops, 76, 7. All right, so now we're going to be setting the title, then the labels and description, and actually enabling to be able to show the figure. So plt dot title, and it's going to say distribution. Then we're going to have plt dot xlabel is going to be, oops, that's a colon, range. Then we're going to have plt dot ylabel, oops, that's a slash, dot ylabel, amount, should be capitalized, amount, oops, amount, and then we're going to say plt dot show, and it's its own function, and this shows the figure. So note that there are another two parameters that can be specified when creating a histogram. Those parameters are called normed and face color. So these two, face color allows you to set the color of the histogram. Normed has two values. We'll be doing that, so we're going to write them here. So we're going to have face color. This is going to change the color of the histogram, and we're going to say R for red. And then we have normed. It can be either true or false. Now what norm does by default is set to false. However, if it's set to true, then the values in the histogram are normalized. That is, all data is in the range between 0 and 1. So we're going to say for this example, true. And if you'd like to explore the visualization of histograms more in depth, you can check out the Plotly library, which helps. It's called Plotly or Plotly, whatever. Plotly to help you create different types of histograms. So let's build this. Let's see if it actually works. It might take a little bit. Oh, there we go. There's our histogram. See, as you can see, it's red and it's normalized right here. And if we change this to green, for example, we'll say G if that works. And we're going to say false. B. And here we go. As you can see, it's not normalized and it's green. All right, moving on. So our next example is the box plot diagram. So we can erase all this. If you keep going with the code, you'll be building, when you build it, each time you close the next window, you'll see in a sec actually. So our next example is the box plot diagram. It is used in statistics for the graphical representation of numerical data. If you're not familiar with this diagram, please feel free to look it up on the net. For now, all you need to know is to create this diagram is that it consists of the following sections: minimum, first quarter, median, third quarter, and maximum elements of the given data list. And you'll see how this looks, so don't worry if you're kind of confused. So fig2 equals plt, not ply, plt figure, in parentheses, the type of figure is going to be box plot. So capital B, lowercase p, that creates the figure object. So x, ax1, different variables now. So we're going to say fig2, autofills, add subplot, and then we're going to have 1, 1, 1, and then we're going to have ax1. So you're basically creating a figure, adding a subplot, and then plotting it out. So now we have box plot instead of hist. So box plot, no dashes or anything. And we're going to have only one parameter, which is just the series. So we're going to have 21. Whoops, that's a period. Dot 21, 12, 18, 23, 35, 45, 60, 30. Actually, are we using the same? Yeah, we're just going to use the same parameters. Why not just copy paste? I'm kind of just doing this robotically, so there, to save us some time. And then we do plot show, plt.show. There we go. And since we have two figures, once you close the first one, the second one will come up. And there you go. So moving on, that was our box plot. And now our next example, well, actually, I should say it's possible to change the orientation of the diagram as well as plot, as well as plotting all the values from a data set. In our next example, we'll be showing you how to compare some values by creating diagrams. So now we're going to use a bar, figure bar graph, whatever you call it. So fig3 equals plt.figure, and in parentheses bar, and then we're going to have ax2 equals fig3 dot add subplot, all ones, ax2 dot set x label. So we're setting labels now, x. I'm going to do the same thing for the y label, ax2, set y label as y. And ax2, whoops, not 3, dot 2, set title. So we're setting the title and everything. Set lowercase letters title. And it's going to be bars. And then we're going to actually set the bars now. So ax2 dot bar. So we have several, we're going to have several series. We're going to have 4 arguments now. So the only difference here in regard to the other examples is that we are plotting each value separately. In the first list, values are on the x-axis. In the second list, the values are on the y-axis. And in the third list, the values are the width of the bar graphs. And the fourth parameter is the list of colors. So we have our first one, first list, 2, 3, and we're going to have 5, 10, 15, 5. And then we're going to have the widths, 0 0.5, 1, 1.3, and 1. And then we're going to have our color argument, so color equals, in square brackets, B, and then red, R. All right, and then to show this, we do plt dot show. There we go, that's our first one. That's our second one. And it didn't, oh, whoops, I forgot the parentheses. So first one, first one, second one, and there's our third one. As you can see, we have a red and blue ones. All right, moving on. Now we are going to do a line graph. So let's do that. So fig 4 equals plt.figure, figure, and this time it's going to be line, capital L, and let's say ax3 now equals fig4 dot add subplot. We're doing the same thing here, so we define what kind of figure it is, then we add the subplot, and then here we're going to have the range of x and y axes, and then we're going to say set xlim to, we're going to say our coordinates, so it's going to be -2 and 10. And then for the y one, so we're going to say x, oops, I don't need that, that's not right, it should be a dot. x3 dot, and then ax3 dot set xlim, we're going to do set ylim now to, so we're just basically making a line graph. It's adding the limits and everything. It's pretty simple stuff. But if you want to learn more about the directory of, oops, that's not right, dot. So if you actually want to learn what all the details are, which all the commands you have, you should refer to the documentation of this library. So x3, then we're going to set y label, x label first, and say x. Then we're going to set the y label, x3 dot set y label, set y into y, and then we're going to say the title, set title, and just going to call it lines. Oops, not a capital I, lines. All right, and then we're going to plot it out. So in plot this time, we're going to have the following. So we define line segments in 2D space. And the first list specifies, oh, I just said this already. So it should be noted that in the examples, in this example, we define lines that go through 2 points. So for n points, we will have n-1 lines in the graph. In case we pass only one list as a parameter to x3 plot, then that is considered as if the x-axis excuse me, has values from 0 to the number of plots that are given in the list. So here we have n number of points, then we're going to have n-1 number of lines. So you're going to see here that the plot is going to look different. It's not going to be empty this time. It's actually going to have some parameters and have a list. So 1, 2, 4, 7, 8. And then we're going to have another argument. It's going to be 5, 2, 3, 4, 3. And then it's going to be color red, R. All right, so let's, and then we're going to have, oops, I made a mistake. I was confusing it with show. So plot is going to have its own, never mind, just forget what I said about plot. I meant to say show, but show is not going to change at all. So we're just going to say plt.show, and that's it. Here we go, next. There's our second one, there's our bars, and there's our line graph.